we request Miriam Joseph to initiate the conversation with Ben Johnson. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's nice to see a crowd here, especially when it's so hot and everybody's just had lunch and we'd all like to be taking a nap. So thank you for coming. It is an honor, a privilege to be sitting next to this man who I watched as a kid and whooped when he lifted his finger and beat that man called Carl Lewis. I think we can be honest now.
I was there too.
Yeah, you were. You certainly were. Carl Lewis was never my favorite runner. He was a bit too sort of brash, a bit too American maybe, a bit too we're the greatest. And as a little Indian girl, yeah, that didn't sit too well with me. So it was nice to see a Jamaican boy beat that American. And that image in my head has always remained. Ben's already done one session here at KLF. And in that session, they spoke almost exclusively about that race, the drugs, the doping, and what happened. So while I'm not avoiding that, I want to actually find out a little bit more about the boy, the man, what it takes to become a world-class athlete, what happens when that comes crumbling down, and what it takes to be a man, to still stand up, to still go out, and still retain an incredible sense of humor, which I can attest to. Thank you, Ben, for being here. You, born in Jamaica, island boy. By the way, Ben's been loving the sun. He's just come from a Canadian winter, so he's enjoying the sun very much, aren't you?
Yes, very much.
Grew up in Jamaica. Were you a sporty kid?
Well,
Were you a sporty kid?
I, as a young boy growing up in Jamaica, I was, with all my friends, running on the street, bare feet, and doing a lot of swimming and
To play
soccer
cricket?
and cricket. Back in the early '70s, like every normal kids will do. So it was fun.
And then you moved from that wonderful island life to Canada, very far away, cold. Your dad stayed in Jamaica. Your mom moved to Canada. You were a pretty large group of brothers and sisters. What was that like, that initial change of going from sunny Jamaica to freezing Toronto?
Well, it was a culture shock, being from a warm country into minus 15, minus 20 weather, leaving all my friends behind and immigrated to Canada and started a new life with my mother. And after 5 years, seeing her for the first time after 5 years. So I was only 14 years old, so it was quite thrilling and to reunite with my mother, so it was good.
And when did you first start getting into athletics? When did you discover, hey, I can run, I got speed?
Well, my brother got me into track and field as a young boy.
Was he also in track and field?
He also was as a track and field scholarship. Went to Lamar University in
In America?
1979.
Okay.
So he used track and field as a vehicle to get into the scholarship into the States. And then within the second year, he quit track and working as a janitor in the university, sweeping the floors, mopping the floors, so he can pay for his school and tuition when school resumed back in the fall. So he knows that to do track and field, he's not going to be one of the world-class sprinters anymore because he leave everything to me, so to speak. So
he got you into track and field.
So he was smart in that way to do that, to use track and field as a vehicle to get in there, to get a scholarship, and to have a wife and a family and kids, and that's what he does.
Yeah, to use it as a way to make a livelihood and go ahead in the world.
Of course, if you're smart about it, there's no guarantee that you're going to be a world-class sprinter, a world-class athlete. So, you have to have education to fall back on. So, when the legs is not working anymore and the bodies get old, then you have to have plan B.
Plan B.
Yeah, so that's what it does.
And so when you got into track and field, were you still at school or had you left school by then?
Me, I was still going to school. I didn't like school. I skipped
Most
school.
of us don't.
I I know school is very, very important, but I know as a young kid, growing up and doing track and field, I know that I will make it one day in track. I just keep believing in myself and trust the training program, trust my coach, and
Put in the work.
eh?
Put in the work.
Put in the work in, and hopefully that I don't fail. That was my greatest in my head, that I can't fail, because if I fail, I got nothing to go back on. So that was my greatest fear of every day of training for 12, 13 years of my life.
You grew up a working class, first generation migrant in Toronto. Your mother, while your father was still alive, he was in Jamaica. So technically, in everyday living, you were growing up in a single mother family. You watched her working very, very hard to keep you all. What was that experience like? I mean, I know as somebody who was a migrant who went to a Western country for a short while, what that can be like. And especially if you do not come from a wealthy background, if you're working class, if you are, and black men get it the worst in North America and Canada. What was that like? Did it affect you, or did you not pay attention to that?
It was very difficult for me as a young boy to experience, anxiety and depressed during my young teenage, doing track and field. But I always want to give something back to my mother, and that was the driving force that I had. So there's many times where, our club would go to a training camp in the States or in Quebec, and I didn't have any money to buy any drinks or certain things. And my mother had to work 2 jobs for me and my brother to have at least $40 to give us. And back then it was a lot of money for me.
Of course it was.
I was only, 15 years old. So I just believe in myself. And my mother is a Christian woman who believes in faith in God, and he knows that this was my destiny, this was my time, and he trusts that by me training and training and training and in keep improving over the years, that I'm gonna be successful. But it was a tough journey for me to angle that as a young boy, to take on a family role as a man of the house at that age.
I want to come to something that people see as a defining thing in your life. The idea that you took drugs. Everybody, you say the word drugs and everybody sees images of evil and, diabolical things. In that 1988 race, out of the 8 of you, 6 people had been found doping.
Yeah.
Why do you think you were the only one singled out for disqualification and vilification?
Well, there is drugs in every sports, and you'll be shocked or surprised at some of the big names out there, even today, using performance-enhancing drugs. But the whole entire system is corrupt, and people just want to be entertained, sponsorship, TV, revenue, everything. So as a young boy growing up, my coach said to me, well, people that you're going to compete against is going to be using performance enhancement. So what you going to do about it? I said, give me a few weeks to think about it. And 2 weeks go, and then I came back and say, you know what? Let's try it. Everybody else is doing doing the same stuff. Maybe I should just join the gang. So it was a level playing field at the time. But the reason why I really single out and the reason why this thing happened to me in my life is because I changed one shoes company to another shoes company. So this is what really happened where I lose my gold medal.
I want to, one of the things I remember thinking about later as I grew up and trained as a journalist is that at that time there were many accusations from America that people in East Germany and people in the Soviet bloc were doing performance-enhancing drugs and that they weren't really true athletes and that Americans were the only ones who were clean and true sports people. And when the people from behind the Iron Curtain decided to retaliate and actually start talking about the fact that there was performance-enhancing drugs being taken in North America and Canada, it kind of felt like, and maybe I'm a cynic, it kind of felt like the white man there decided, yeah, people are taking drugs here, but it's mostly just the black athletes. It's not us white folk. We don't do these bad things. That's what it felt like to me. Did it feel like that to you? Did racism, I think, you just said it was about money and you changing shoe companies. Do you think racism played a part in it at all? Because from my point of view, it felt like it did.
If it was racism was involved, they do it in a agitated way where they single me out and for me to test positive so the Americans can win the gold medal for America. We know that, Carl Lewis tested positive like just a few weeks before Olympic Games in 1988.
I mean, just before the trials, he tested positive, right?
Yeah, and then Congress give him the green light to go to race with me in Seoul. So, and plus the American Federation also gave the World Athletics a lot of money as sponsorship and everything. So I'm the guy they target. But, it's okay. These things happen in life.
Well,
people
to
are,
some of us,
some
not
people,
all of us.
some people are very jealous of my accomplishment, but I took it into a positive way. And,
I mean, I don't think anyone can deny that you were a fast runner. You were holding the world record even before you got to that race. The record you broke that day was your own record. You held the record in 100 meters and 60 meters. So,
that was my problem. I run too fast.
well, life in the fast lane, it is fast. Post all of that, post that scandal, post the disqualification, there's a few things you've done that make you, at least for me, as somebody who's curious about people, a rather colorful character. You went to train Muammar Gaddafi's son?
Yes, in Libya.
Did you go to Libya to do that training?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, apparently, Diego Maradona came to me and say he wants me to train him because he has to return to Boca Juniors for a soccer match. And he was about 260 pounds.
Wow.
And we only have 6-7 weeks to get him down to at least 165 pounds. And he came to Toronto, and we trained for about 2 days for about 6, 7, 8 weeks. And we have.
Did he lose the weight?
He lose the weight. Yeah, he lose the weight. It was like the old Diego.
Nice.
So we hang out, and we become good friends. And I went back to Argentina for all the press, and everybody was saying that, well, what you did, whatever you did, it's amazing how this guy looked. He looked like back in the 1982, So we said, we train very hard and we get the job done, based on the shoes contract and based on how much time frame do we have. By saying that, so a year later or so, Gaddafi engineer, we call him Saadi, invite Maradona to come to Libya, and they sit down and he make a few appearances for soccer, kicking the ball around and do some magic tricks with the ball and everything like that. And after that, they were sitting down talking about general sports and training. And Sadie said to him, how you been so fit? Who trained you? He said, Ben Johnson. And then within a few weeks later, I get a phone call that I'm going to Libya. But before that,
You got a phone call from Muammar Gaddafi's office, or?
from his office.
Okay.
Yeah. But before that, my mom has a dream, a vision. And she said to me, within 6-7 months, you'll be living near the water somewhere. And I said to her, what do you mean I'm living near the water? Where? Where am I going? So to speak. And I said to her, how long is it going to take? I said, I don't know, son, but you're going to get a phone call. And within 6-7 months, I get a phone call, and I went to Libya. And then I was at the airport in Toronto with about 20 press surrounding me, asking me all kinds of questions about going to Libya. Aren't you afraid to go to Libya? You know, these people are terrorists, and don't you afraid to being kidnapped and everything like that? And I say, I'm not going there to do politics. I'm going there to train.
Yeah.
I have to make a living. So they were just laughing and smiling and shocked with what I said. So I went to Libya and meet Saadi, and then we just resumed training and getting back.
Was he a sportsman? Was he trying to be a sportsman? Did he fancy it?
He's a smart kid, you know, he's very wise. He's always used sports to get out of the country, you know.
To get away
travel.
from his dad for a bit.
Yeah, to get to travel, you know. So we would travel to West Africa, North Africa a lot. And when we leave Libya, that's the best time I ever felt, because everything in Libya is differently, you know.
Of course.
So it was a great, sometimes we will leave the hotel around 10 o'clock in the morning, and we don't leave until 2 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Wow.
Because of security reasons. So the dad would say to him that you cannot leave right now because
It's too dangerous.
it's too dangerous right now. And we hang out at the airport for almost like 7 hours, 8 hours. So it's been one of those difficult moments. And that happened all the time. That happened all the time.
I mean, you should have expected it. You were going to Libya to Muammar Gaddafi, so I'm guessing that was in some fashion dangerous. But to make a serious point, you talked about what the journalists were asking you at the airport about, aren't you scared? You know, you're going to this place. Did anyone ask you, or did anyone talk about the fact that post the kind of scandal, that it must have been really difficult for Ben Johnson to make a living, and every human being needs to be able to make a living?
Well, you know, going to Libya and being with, with the Muslim world and everything like that, and they bring me in and they respected me and they treat me very, very well, just like they treat me here in India and so forth. In Canada, my mom's always say that you're not going to be recognized as much in a native country. Is when you travel and you go outside, people will love you and recognizing you and give you support and the love and the kindness and everything that I need. And this is what I've been getting every time I travel around the world.
But
Thank you.
to talk about making a living, because like you said, you knew you were going to be an athlete, you put in the work, you worked hard, things were going great, and then one day they weren't.
Well,
So what was going through your head in terms of, how do I make a living? How do I live the rest of my life?
the same motivation and the strength and the courage, psychologically, emotionally, physically, on the track, I bring the same elements over
Into
to
life.
this other side. And it's been very tough to make a living because due to my suspension and the embargo that the World Athletics posed on me for 37 years now. So I can do a lot of training, like private training, but if I want to train professional athletes, I can't do that.
That's just unfair. I mean, to have not only be the one that is singled out, but then to also have your means to make a living with some sense of respect and dignity taken away, I think is unfair.
Well, my dad's always say, a house have many doors. So,
Good man.
yeah.
Nice.
So I use those words of wisdom to get through life and get going and just keep moving forward.
You talked about traveling the world. You talked about the fact that when you get out of Canada, that it's nice that people still respect you. Apart from that bit, what do you like about traveling? What do you like about going to new countries, meeting? I mean, he has been, for the last 3 days, inundated by people, and he's extremely patient, I have to say. Even just walking here from there, about 9 people in the space of 30 meters came to take pictures, and he stops every time and he takes them. What does traveling do for you?
I want people to see me a different way, who Ben Johnson is. People see me as the world fastest man or win, a lot of gold medals or world record and stuff like that. But there's an excited Ben Johnson that a lot of people doesn't know. And I like to, share some of that. And I'm a very kind person. I'm a very humble person. Yes, I lose a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. So where I came from, in Jamaica, whatever we have, we're happy with, and we just live our life day to day. During my career, training for so many years, people, the audience, and my fans around the world see me run and perform so many times and so many great moments. It's been very tough to always, to show respect to the people that love me and care for me and support me over the years. And is when I traveled to go to different countries and different places, I saw the great love that people have and support and not only just for track and field, but just the person Ben.
For the human being.
And just a human being. And sprinters, we see like superhuman running on the track, on the TV. We have emotion too, we have feelings, we hurt, and sometimes we need to.
Oh. Please. Can I just say, it is really nice to see a man who's not afraid to speak with some sensitivity. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to come to some fun bits. So Ben's done some advertising campaigns, which is what I meant about having a sense of humor. He's done an advertising. Do you want to tell us about the Japanese advertising campaign about cheetah? Because I think you'll tell it better than I will.
It was a friend of mine contact me in Toronto about doing this sports drink called Cheetah. So
it's a sports drink called cheetah.
So
as in the animal.
So
fast.
I was away from the media for about almost like 6-7 years. No one heard of me. No one didn't know where Ben Johnson was. I just keep a low profile after my mom passed away. So they said to me, Ben, we'd like to meet with you. Can you come to the office? So I met with them, and I said, we're trying to promote this sports drink called Cheetah. And I said, yeah, that's different.
It is.
So I said, let me think about it. So I did for a few days. And I said, well, people might think that I cheated all the time by using performance drugs or I run fast like a cheetah. So it's like a rhyme.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
So I decided to, you know what? I don't give a heck. I'm not going to do it. So the media heard about it and started to think that I was making fun of the sports and fun of whatever I'd done in the past. I said, listen, Ben Johnson do what Ben Johnson need to do, and nobody can tell me differently. But I make some mistakes in my life, and that's one of the mistakes I make in my life. I should never done it, but it happened. I move on.
Are you talking about the ad or the drugs?
I'm talking about the sports drink.
The sports drink, really? Well, I thought it was funny. The tagline is having the word cheetah, as in super fast animal, rhyme with the word cheater, because that's what the world was calling him. And the way I see it, well, if you're going to call me that, I might as well be able to earn a living out of it, because you've stopped me from being able to earn any other way.
That's right.
So that's the way I saw it. I thought it was funny.
That's-
You're training youngsters now, both in Canada and in America and in Japan, right? And in Japan, you also do a reality show.
I did a lot of reality show in Japan. So many.
You're very, very popular there.
In Japan, yeah.
What's that about? Why do you think that's about? Why do they love you so much?
Japan is a unique country and unique people, based on a number of things. They're always like a honest person. If you're honest, they'll love you. It doesn't matter how bad a thing may be and you're trying to hide it. No, tell them the truth. And there is respect you for that. And with my situation over the years, they respected me and they know what happened, they know the politics, they know everything. So ever since 1996 and even now, I will be in Japan every 2 years or every year doing a lot of reality show in Japan. And one thing with Japan, if you're doing any business in Japan, never late.
Never late.
Never late. It's embarrassing.
Well, it's a bit difficult for a fast man to be late, right? You probably get there earlier than
I'm more
everybody.
shop on time, brother.
I want to circle back to Jamaica. The way I've watched Ben over the last 3 days savor the sun and the heat. Why do you continue to live in Toronto? Why don't you go back to the island and live there? You look like you'd be happier in the sun.
A lot of people trying to come to Toronto and I'm trying to get out.
Good.
Yeah,
Are you getting out? Do you have any plans?
So I'm hopefully this year, sometime this year, by the end of the year, I will be able to move back to Jamaica and buy a house in Jamaica.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, just because I've watched him enjoy the sun
Thank you.
as much as he has. In the training that you do, you're not allowed to train professional athletes. So what kind of people are you training? You train hockey players? Who are you training?
I train private kids. For
but
hockey.
are they athletes? Who are you training?
The athletes. I train lacrosse. I train hockey. I train soccer. I train tennis players. And these are private people that come to me.
Private gigs.
Yeah.
What are you training them in? I mean, what are you doing? Is it mental conditioning? Is it speed?
I do a lot of
conditioning
condition training for mental, emotionally, to get on the court and to be confident and to be aggressive, and that when you go on the field, that field belongs to you, nobody else but you. So I teach them all these things and they carry on and doing very well.
Do you like that? Okay, what I mean to ask is, if you were able to train professional athletes, would you prefer to do that than the gigs you're getting now?
Not really, because during training professional athletes, it's very difficult. It's too very technical. You know, to run even a second or a full second, it would take you 2 years. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of patience. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard labor, a lot of hard, it's just too much. So the coach that I'm doing now, I love it because I coach them for like 6-7 weeks or 2 months or 3 months, and then have a break. Have a break and have a new set comes on. So it works out pretty good.
Since there is such a big crowd here, I would normally speak to you for another 10 minutes because I happily could. But I'm going to open it up because there's a big crowd here.
Welcome to Calicut, the most beautiful coastal city of Kerala. I think you have been here for the last 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 days for this beautiful function. I have got 2 questions to you, sir. What about your experience about Calicut, the beautiful city of truth, literature, food, and everything? we known as almost everything is our calicut. You might have experienced it. I think.
Calicut advertising
Yes,
is good.
yes.
What's your next
The
question?
second question is, what is your advice to the Indian athletes, especially for the careless, in the short run? I mean, the 100 meter and 200 meter,
Okay.
to expose their ability. Thank you.
Two questions. One is, you've been in Calicut, Kozhikode, this city, for the last 3 days. What do you think of it? And the second question is, what advice do you have for local sprinters, people who want to be short distance sprinters? What advice do you have for them?
Well, calicut here, the food is very, very nice, very rich, a lot of spice. People here are very friendly. I eat some rice with the chicken. I forgot the name of it.
Biryani.
Biryani. I love biryani. For the young generation to do sprinting here in India is you have to first you have to read my coach book Speed Trap.
This is Charlie's book.
Charlie Francis. You come to the sources, which is me. But if you read a book, you can get the knowledge and understanding and the pluralization of training. Once you know that, then you can become a great coach. Over the years, I train a lot of kids, but in India, there's kids who here can run pretty good. You just have to have a good coach, good understanding, because the Indian folks have small frame structure, and you have to know how to apply the weights and the plyometrics, because you have to remember this.
Maybe eat more protein. Maybe eat more protein as well.
A lot of protein, yes, but you have to understand that sprinters are not bodybuilders, but we need the force and the power to generate on the ground to run fast. So if a sprinter is about 160 pounds, small frame, small body, but it can move very, very fast, then you have a good product here. So you have to know how to use the training, apply the right force and the right training. And the key thing is maximum strength. That's very key to become a good sprinter. So you have to find out from that person where his weakness and where is his strongest. And then you can work on the weak part, build that up, and then you can get a full product of a good athlete.
Okay, sounds good.
Ben, Jamaica as an island, from 1948 onwards, people know of the sprinting tradition. Arthur went onwards, Don Quarry in 76, you, Bolt, Blake. But I'm just thinking of the sheer coincidence that the two men I consider the fastest in history, you and Bolt, both come from the same parish, Trelawney, tiny place, 75,000 people. How is that even possible that in this vast world, the two fastest men in history come from this little speck of a place on a tiny island?
He's saying the two fastest men in the world and the two men whose sprinting he admires, you and Usain Bolt, both come from the same tiny parish in Jamaica. How is it possible that two of the fastest men in history come from this tiny place? Is the place special? What's going on? Is the water different?
Well, it's been happening over the last 400 or 500 years. From since my ancestors came from Africa and descend into Jamaica. We have the good genes and the good food and the climate. And most of these sprinters that they're running on grass. So the grass is very hard, but it's very fast. So over the years, it's really developed your tendon, your tissues, and your ligament, and your muscles. So and also with a good coaching program, and just to have the drive and the belief, and because of our structure is very strong, as a black person, we are very strong, so we can do the hard training, the heavy load training, and excel, and just keep believing.
Hi, Ben. I just wanted to ask, the disqualification, the 1988 disqualification must have been a very, very dark period for you. How did you cope in the days and weeks that followed?
She's saying the disqualification so soon after the victory must have been dark and difficult. And he's in the days and weeks that followed immediately. How did you cope?
Well, it was a very difficult moment at the time when everything's happened to me as a young boy. I was only 26 years old when everything happened. And I just lay down in my bed, in my room, in Seoul, and I think about the things that I did and things that happened to me. And I just take it as a person. And yes, it's been very difficult moments for a long period of time. And my mother was my biggest supporter and who believed and said to me that, the day will come where everything will be okay again. So it's been almost 37 years now. And my daughter is 37. I got 3 grandkids. And
You look good for a grandfather, just saying. You do.
well, one of my oldest granddaughter, Michaela, we went out to the movies, so we went to a store to buy something. And we were walking, and he go, "Grandpa, wait up for me." And I go, "Shh."
Don't call me grandpa in public.
Don't call me grandpa.
Next question, gentleman here.
One trend in athletics, especially generally in sports and especially in athletics, is basically that the records are getting broken, So is it basically because humans are becoming more capable as it goes on, as time passes, or is it because of better accessories, better tracks? That is one part of the question. The second part of the question, in that context, something that is more amazing is the fact that in the same Seoul Olympics that we talk about in 1988, the records set by Florence Griffith Joyner, Flojo, is still unbeaten in 100 meters and 200 meters. So I would like to
That's what women do.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to know from you, sir.
So 2 questions. The first one is, as time goes on, records keep getting broken. So is it that the human species is just getting more amazing, or is it that there's better equipment, better tracks, better training, all of that stuff? That's the first question. Second question was, same Seoul Olympics, Flojo set a record that still hasn't been broken. But men are breaking records all the time, so what's the deal there?
Over the years, since 1996, technology in track and field changed for the better. So now you have better track and field surfaces, and you have better spikes that they have carbon fiber, and they design it so much that when you make contact with the ground, moving forward, it pushes forward. So they will do anything to let the athletes run faster, to generate more excitement, more money, more sponsorship, and more entertainment.
And the second part of the question?
The second part,
Flojo?
the Flojo, well, my coach and I speak about her after the Olympic Games in Seoul, that she can have problems. Because you cannot come from 3rd place, 1987, and win by this much margin in less than a year.
In 1 year.
And I said, "Charlie, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, whatever she's doing, she's gonna have problems." And unfortunately, 1997,
She did.
she passed
Passed
away.
away. Yeah.
Good afternoon, both. Mr. Ben, actually you are a Jamaican citizen, Jamaican native, and you shifted to Canada during his 14th age. Why you shifted to Canada? Is it get your track coach Charlie Francis, or you shifted to all family to Canada?
He moved not for Charlie Francis. He moved when he was 14. So the question was, did you move to Canada from Jamaica to be able to be coached by Charlie Francis? That was the question, right? You can answer.
Okay, no, I moved from Jamaica to Canada because my mom immigrated to Canada to have a
His
better
mother
life.
moved.
To have a better life. So, and then my brother was much older than me, was involved into the Scarborough Optimist Track Club, And that's where I met my coach, Charlie, at the time. So no, yeah.
I love the name of that running club.
Scarborough Optimist. Yeah.
The Scarborough Optimists. I mean, that's a great name for a running club.
Good afternoon, sir. You have been a great inspiration during my school days. Obviously, me and my friends usually were, looking after you as a great sportsman. And it's a privilege meeting you over here, first of all. And my question to you is, before a race begins, what goes through your mind actually?
So he said, you were a great inspiration to him and his school friends. They always look at you as a great athlete.
Thank you.
And he's very happy to be here. The question is, when you run, when you used to run, if you still run now, what goes through your head before you start a race, when you're on the blocks?
Well, I did most of my meditation at home in my hotel room the night before I race. So I go through my training, the warm-up, my accelerations, to get out the blocks as fast as I can, and just keep acceleration. So I do a lot of meditation to relax the body and the mind, and just keep focus on that 9-7 seconds as much as I can, because you don't have that second chance. Your chance is now, and your time is now to perform and show the world, what speed is all about.
When you're on the blocks, how easy is it to shut out the rest of the world? There's so much noise around you. There's all of
this
that.
is what you train in practice for so many weeks and so many years and so many months, is to ignore the audience and the people, and just focus that 1 second. It's like driving a car, or a shift car. Once you get out of first gear, everything is easy. So my secret was to get out the blocks
quickly,
quick as possible, and everything else is automatic. Just run like hell and let's go.
Okay.
Hi, Ben. We spoke earlier, and I told you how, because of you, I got into track and field as a child, and I did a decade of sprint and jumps. I learned a lot. Sports gave me a lot of life skills. And I make sure that my daughter, who's 10 years old now, is also following that journey. I want to know from you, what is that one thing sports taught you? What is the life lesson that you take back from such an illustrious sports career that you've had?
Well, sports, it's also a blessing because it can teach you a lot of things in life. It can teach you discipline, motivation, courage, believe in yourself, believing that everything is possible in this world to achieve. And there's nothing that you can't achieve, because once you're alive, you can achieve a lot of things. Once you're dead, you can't achieve anything. So track and field is also teach you everything, a way of life, going to work, going to basic days of your life. So this is what track and field does for me and for a lot of people who are moving on in their life after track and field. So it's very important, and also sharing that same gift to your kids, the discipline, the courage, not only in sports, but writing your exam, or doing a lot of schoolwork and focus, and the discipline, and go to bed at night so your brain can work properly and stuff like that. These are the things that is very important in track and field. And that's what I'm saying to a lot of people over the years when I travel and I speak, that track and field is the master of all sports. Master of all sports. Anything that you do in other sports need track and field specific to get better. Either plyometrics, jumping, weight training, weightlifting, power cleans, everything, emotionally, physically, and everything else comes with track and field. So if you can win like this all by yourself, what's going to happen when you have a team sports and you have a group of people on the same platform running? it can be beaten. It's impossible.
First of all, a great privilege to see you. And I know you were an athlete in your heydays, that you were a big idol for me. What do you do now that you're not a professional athlete, but I assume you're still doing some kind of training, etc. So what do you do right now?
Did you
to
join
keep
us
in?
late?
Yes.
We spoke about that. He trains private gigs because he's not allowed to train professional sports people.
No,
but he
I meant what do you do for yourself?
Oh.
Oh, myself.
Yes.
The more important things for me right now and this moment is to keep above dirt. That's as important. Life is good, life is nice, and just keep doing the right thing I'm doing right now, trying to stay as young as possible I can and train and do exercises and eat good and follow up on my doctor's appointment and just enjoy life the best as I can. That's the best thing I can say about this. So life is good, and it's always great to be there. It's always
Keep
good.
it simple.
It's always great to be alive. Yes.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Sir, good afternoon. We came, the entire family is here to see you, and thank you for being here. So we are really blessed. My questions to you. Yesterday also I have read one article. How did you overcome the tough time? So can you please give an advice those who wants to pursue their career in athletics? How can we overcome the challenges?
What kind of challenges do you mean?
Especially the crowd and the rules and regulations and mind diversions, especially when we are not able to focus.
Okay, so the first thing he said was he and his entire family is here because they came to see you and they're very happy to see you here. He admires you as a sports person. And he says, what advice do you have to athletes to not get distracted by other diversions in life? How do you keep focus on winning, I guess, and being a good athlete?
Well, I'm very happy that you came to see me, and I love your family too. Bless you. It's something that you really have to train your mind to ignore certain things in life, what you need to focus on what you're doing. It's very important. So, for instance, in track and field or in sports, or even trying to get a scholarship to go to the States, based on that, you have to make sure that you have the discipline, the motivation, the courage, the focus, and the drive, self-control, self-discipline to get where you want to be. By me saying that is, if you have to want to be somewhere in about, say, 10, 15 years from now, well, you have to cut a lot of things off to be able to do what you want to do later on in life.
So it's a life of some kind of sacrifice as well?
It's a sacrifice. You have to do it. And if you don't want to do it, you're not going to make it.
Okay, so I still have a couple of questions, and I want to keep this to who the man is. We know you like biryani, which means you like flavorful food. What kind of music do you listen to? You're a Jamaican boy. What do you listen to?
I collect a lot of music.
What kinds?
I like jazz. I like R&B. I like.
You don't like some good dancehall, some reggae?
No, I'm not into the dancehall thing. It's in a different message. I don't like that.
Tell me what kind of message it sends.
I don't like hip hop. Speaking about the songs, speaking about peoples and different that. I don't like that stuff. So it gives me a headache.
Is it? It's very curious. It gives you a headache? Did you say?
It's giving me a headache. Yeah.
Is it the
Because
fact that it talks of violence?
That's not music. That's just degrading people. Simple as that.
Okay. So you're a jazz, soul, R&B boy.
R&B soul boy. Reggae too.
So what are you going to do when you get back to the island? Keep listening to this stuff?
I've been taking all my collection with me and
parking it there?
Yes, and enjoy it. And when I go back to, I will be going back to church, whatever it is, and just enjoy myself.
You famously had a Ferrari Testarossa, which you lost. What do you drive now?
I drive Cadillac.
A Cadillac.
As a young boy, racing and growing up, I always wanted to buy a Ferrari, and I trained hard to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
And I achieved the goal, and I drive it for a couple of years, and I sell it because now it doesn't mean anything to me anymore. So, as you go through life,
your priorities change.
your priorities change, and you see things more what it is now and what it is then. So it's just material stuff. It doesn't mean anything.
As a grandfather, what do you do with your grandkids?
I take them to the movies, go for a walk. I take them to certain places where they can play and climb up the place and jump into those ponds,
Big
whatever,
pits
and everything like that.
Okay. So you're not kind of disciplining them, or that you leave to their mother, and you're just the fun granddad?
No, I don't want them to do track and field. If they want to do track and field just for fitness and to look good, that's fine. But I don't want to do track and field.
Not as a profession?
No,
Why not?
because I don't want to nobody hurt my kids.
Oh,
I don't want that. No.
okay, you're a good granddad.
Yeah.
My brother has participated in the nationals in under-8 category in skating. So would you give him a message?
Oh. Her little brother participated in the under-8s national category for sprinting. Speed skating.
Speed skating, yeah.
Okay. Kind of like what hockey players do.
Yes.
Would you give him a message, she says?
Well, for his age, you have to do a lot of plyometric jumps to the basic stuff what he needs to develop his tendon, tissues, and ligaments so he can skate much better. Not a lot of running, but just get the body frame very strong, and then you can see greater results.
Hi, Ben. It's a pleasure to have you.
ഇച്ചിരൂടെ ഉറക്കെ സംസാരിക്കാവോ?
So my question is, were you always winning on the podium? Were you always on the podium? Were there times where you were not? And when you failed, what did you tell yourself? How did you keep moving? I think sports is very tough. If you're not on the top 3, things are hard. So what do you tell people who are not there yet?
If you are perfect at all times, well, then you're not human. So there is time where you're going to be 100%, and there's sometimes going to be 75%. So you have to, it's minds over matter, so to speak. So you have to try to believe that you're not going to be 100%, but you're going to try your best to win. But when you be 100%, there's nobody can beat you. So you have to train your mind to ignore this type of symptoms and this type of doubt in the back of your head. So you have to train your mind physically, emotionally, mental endurance to ignore this type of signal that you're going to get time to time.
I want to ask you one last thing. I want to tell you one last thing. 10 years ago, almost to the month, I was in this city with another Canadian 100-meter champion, Donovan Bailey.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh, you and he don't get on?
We don't like each other.
Oh, damn. Well,
it's okay. Go ahead.
No. For me, it's just a nice circular rounding off, because I was here filming a TV series with him and a few other athletes. And then 10 years later, I have the honor to sit here with you. It's good. Clearly, Jamaican, Canadian athletes.
So let me ask you one question.
Sure.
Who is nicer?
Oh, that's not even a question. You know it's not a question. You know that. You're just fishing for a compliment now. You win that competition hands down. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, all of you. And the signings are over there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.